go. I got to lean in.
What is up, everybody? What is today? Tuesday? Happy Tuesday, Salt Lake City reunion part two, my God. How are y'all doing tonight? Thank you guys so much for joining us for part two of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion. As you guys know, we normally go live at 7:20 Central, whatever that equates to, whatever time zone you're on. We decided to pump it up a little bit early. Married to Medicine is getting doubled up next week. So thank you guys so much who have subscribed and turned on their notifications because you guys got word that we started a little bit early. For those of you guys who are running a little bit late, again, we apologize, but you can rectify that by subscribing and turning on your notifications because you know we can't keep a time here at the Lean. So we appreciate all you guys for joining in with us. Maybe the comments are already lit up. Thank you guys so much. As you can see, we've got a full panel. And you guys know that lately in the past, in the past, we have bemoaned three-part reunions because a lot of the times they don't be giving. But the reunions for this season have been giving. So we decided to bring everybody here today. So first up, we've got Shantae. How are you doing tonight, Shantae?
I barely made it, but I'm glad.
By the grace of God.
Never would have made it.
Chad, I see you trying to unchap your lips. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I know you're
very good to hear.
I know you're happy to see me after last week. So
you didn't do nothing last week.
I'm happy to be here.
Okay.
I'm happy to have you.
Thanks.
Shantae, not now. Yes, it's good to see you. How are you doing?
I'm good. It's a great day. It's a great day.
Tonio, how are you?
I'm doing good, and I know you're.
All right, well, we're moving on.
Yeah, exactly. Let's move on.
Guys, before we jump into this, you can see, look, I'm going to try to be very professional tonight as a moderator of a 5-person panel to make this thing go smoothly. So if you're going to support us, please like, subscribe to this video, turn on your notifications, share this with your friends. As you know, this season has been a return to form for Salt Lake City. It has been a time. Episode 2 of this reunion, as we said, did not disappoint. We start right off back in the mess. If you remember at the end of last week, Monica and Angie K were kind of getting into it. Angie K brings up Monica's kids by saying, hey, why would you buy a Chanel purse or something instead of feeding your kids? And Monica really thought she ate with that. She ate just a little bit. But then Monica then in turns eats up Angie K for talking about the kids, threatening to I'm going to beat you up. Don't, keep my kids' names out of the mouth. Meredith, for some reason, is cold. I hear those Percocets or whatever she'd be taking allegedly drop your blood pressure. She wants a shawl. I don't know. They live in a town that is always under snow. I don't know how she's cold in a studio in LA. But she is. Andy quickly moves on. Then we focus on Monica and her sociopathic mother. We get a full package of all the time her mother has been crazy and off the rails. And seeing it all back to back, I was like, damn, this lady really is nuts. She's a terrorist. Andy asks about the canceling of Monica meeting her family in Bermuda. And Monica says, she wasn't 100% sure if it was her mother, but she had a feeling because she really hasn't talked to her mom since filming Rap months ago. She tells a story about how her mom messaged production and asked to go on the cast trip. And production was like, no, girl, you're not you're not part of the cast. And she says that her mom was pissed about this. Threw a fit. I should be allowed to go. It's my family there, blah, blah, blah. And for that, that's why Monica feels like her mother had something to do with her family canceling. It was more the thing if I can't see y'all, then nobody can, right? Andy brings up her relationship with her dad, and Monica kind of says that she hasn't really spoken with her dad since she was 12, since the dad kind of left or the mom kicked him out. The story's a little bit confusing. She said that she hasn't really wanted to reconnect with her dad at her grown age because she doesn't feel a need to. although she is a little bit curious about what he looks like. They then talk about the mom leaving her with some family friends to go pursue a career in TV. Talks turn to the mom's insane Twitter presence on the duration of the show. We see a package of just like all the things that the mom has said about Monica in particular. She hasn't really talked about any of the other casts except to say nice things about them. And really, Monica's mom is her first op in life because like this lady has made it her life's mission to make Monica miserable. So that was just a lot in like a 5-minute package. So Shantae, we'll start with you. Would your mama ever tweet about you if you landed a TV show? Would your mom ever tweet crazy things about you if you landed a TV show?
Listen, there's levels to mamas, and I feel like Monica's mama is in her own league. You cannot compare anybody's, much less mine. And really, at the end of the day, I think the most shocking thing was when Monica was talking about she came home crying, thinking that she bombed the interview or whatever it was, and the mom was like, well, Lord, if not Monica, let it be me, Lord.
That's called manifesting. That's called manifesting. She just wanted a blessing.
I was like, I cannot with Monica's mom. Like, that's when I was done. What about you guys?
Chad, we know you and your mom have a great relationship. What would you do if your mama was like Monica's mama?
I don't know what I would do if she was like Monica's mama, but I'm not gonna lie, my mama might get on the internet and do some. She got a big. She got a.
What's your mama's Twitter? I want to follow her.
She might get on there and say a few things. No shade. So I'm not gonna say much about Monica's mama doing that because I don't know. I really don't.
Do you think Monica's mom had a hand, given the backstory of her wanting to go on the Bermuda trip? Do you think she had a hand in making the family members back out?
I don't know. So of course Monica's explained the story, but I don't know if I feel like as a family, I don't think that her mama has that much power for them to say we don't want to see Monica. You know, I feel like at the end of the day, they're still adults, and if anything, if they haven't seen Monica in all of these years, I think that they would have wanted to see her, you know, regardless of what whoever was saying. So I don't know. I'm still sticking to my story that she was never going there to meet her family.
Oh, okay. Tonio, what are your thoughts?
No, I agree with that. Monica mama she's off. She's off the hook. And I agree with Shantae. There are levels to mamas, and clearly Monica's mama is at the bottom. So she ain't made it to level 2 yet. She's still at level 1. In regards to the Bermuda, there's something that's still off about that. I was even questioning going a little bit further, like, does she really have family in Bermuda? I mean, listen.
The mama did confirm that they had family there.
Oh, they do.
So,
okay. Well, okay, cool. So, but yeah, it's
cool. I'm still sticking to my story.
It's still something is off. If she hasn't spoken to them in that long, and if the mom hasn't seen them in that long, how can the mom just swoop in and say, "Hey, y'all shouldn't meet her"? Or whatever the case may be, it does not make any sense. But I can see the mom possibly coming up with some type of diabolical story as to how it would be detrimental to them if they were to meet her on camera, because of course they were probably going to film it. So yeah, absolutely.
Tez,
I really believe Monica, to be honest. I think we can all agree that her mom is off the end, crazy. The prayer, I mean, the way, just watching her on camera, like how their interaction, obviously there is some trauma there, but I believe that she probably did try to, I mean, if she was upset about not going, you have to know, and she prayed, first of all, she prayed that she would get the damn opportunity.
But how would she just get it if she hadn't even applied, though? Like, she was doing something like that. You didn't even apply.
I don't know what they got going on in the Salt Lake City, but their God and their Christ, whatever it is, clearly is all right with them, because she said If you don't get it, it's coming to me.
Right?
Bring it on to me, Lord. Bring it on.
I receive it.
But no, I really do believe Monica. At first, I was like, when we talked about it a couple episodes ago, it felt a little sketchy, but I do really believe after seeing this whole season and seeing her mom that her mom did something to mess it up. I don't really believe. We know Monica, she's lied and did things, but I don't believe she'll be pretending to see this family in Bermuda. Like, it's been confirmed there is family there, so I think the mother did something. Whatever that is, I don't know, but she did something.
So, to the people in the chat, let's get a poll going. Who is the worst mama? Monica's mama, Todd's mama,
Mama Joyce.
Mama Joyce.
Red Todd, Mama, rest in peace, please.
She did
not
pass.
with us no more. Yeah.
And she was still crazy.
Wendy's mama, or from the OC, who's the racist one? The one who got kicked off. She's a Fox News commentator now. Anyway, the one who pushed her mama down the stairs, or Ken Zolciak's mama. Who's the worst mama out of the history of the Housewives? Let's get that going.
Just now, you could have said
right.
Jim Jones' mama. You could have gave.
Well, we didn't have a Housewives.
Not Boom Clap.
Mama G.
Mama. Lyrica's mama. There's so many mamas.
It don't matter. The answer's Mama Joyce, so it don't matter.
I agree.
It's very Mama Joyce.
Now hold up.
I like Mama
we can't forget about Cynthia Bailey mama hiding that
the marriage certificate.
She had one moment. She had
one moment.
That's it.
I think for the upcoming Mother's Day, we need to do a lean special shout out to all the mamas in the Housewife and do a recap of all the crazy things they've been going. Who'd have the worst package? We know off camera, Mama Joyce is the worst. If you got Candy on Watch What Happens Live talking about that's my mama, and you can say whatever you want to say to you blue in the face, Mama still going. We know it's Mama Joyce. Right. So, Chad, you're saying Mama Joyce hits Candy, is what you're saying, allegedly? With a switch.
I'm going to go with Dorothy, Candace's mama.
That woman also is crazy.
Wrong, mama died. Okay.
I'm going to go with Ken Zolciak's mama.
Big Doc. Ken Zolciak's mama smoke. Any woman that can smoke 3 packs a day is a bad mama. We get more talk obviously about the Bermuda thing. They asked Lisa about her comment about the state of the dysfunction. Lisa kind of defends herself and says she wasn't aware that it was that crazy. She made statements based on what she saw. Then when she saw what was actually going on, she felt kind of sad. But then she was like, but that's none of my business. I ain't got nothing to comment about that. But Monica does say, it was important for her to show this because for people who kind of see the relationship on the outside, her mom can be very charming and she does suck people in. And Whitney was like, baby, when she sat down at that dinner, it really felt like the mom was auditioning for the show because she was turning it on. She was very charming. Monica then tells the story of the final interview where the mama prayed against her and wanted the part for themselves. And so then Heather kind of asks, in all of this, why would you still film with your mom? And Monica says, she's so used to the dynamic of that she's just like, well, this is just normal. This is what my mom does. Why am I going to accept some change? What kind of stuck out to me is Andy was really, really agreeing with her. Like, yeah, like you're used to this kind of abuse. And it's just like, okay, it's never going to be any different than what it is. Monica tells a story about how she was dating her first husband. She was so happy she brought that man over, and Monica's mom was like, you need to leave my house. You are banned from this. You will never be with my daughter. And says that her mother makes it a mission to make sure that she is not happy. Whitney again kind of steps up and says, the dynamic you have with your mother is similar to the one with my dad. And until you're able to step away and kind of look at it from an outsider's perspective, you don't really see how you're in such a emotionally abusive and manipulative relationship. And this kind of hit me because I was like, Whitney's kind of sticking up for Monica at this time. And so we go into this interview where all of the ladies are like, no, we don't want to have anything to do with her. But Whitney was kind of the first that I saw in this to kind of defect from that and really kind of take up for Monica, which can mean one of two things. Like she had a soft spot for Monica, or Whitney's trying to save her own check and knows that Monica's good for the show. Because Whitney does stay on Twitter. She knows the majority of the Housewives fans are on Monica's side. So Whitney has a lot of things. She ain't stupid. She's dumb, but she ain't stupid. We kind of talk about her dad. She's like, we ain't talk about that dad in forever. I had to cut him off. She talks about her own mom that apparently they didn't speak for more than a decade. It took both of them cutting her father out for them to be able to come back in and kind of heal on that. And she really hasn't spoken to her dad in a minute. Does anybody have anything that they want to add on Whitney kind of? I mean, we know we joked about it in the past that she kind of tends to make things about herself. So this was just another instance, but in, something that was surprising. It was kind of a positive thing. It was in defense of Monica. Tonio, do you have anything that you want to add?
No, I think in regards to Whitney, I think Whitney is in regards to Whitney and Monica. I think Whitney is really willing to do what she needs to do for the sake of the show. We've seen her, go to extra mile in the past to try and say stuff about people or bring things up on camera or whatever the case may be. So I think this will just be another instance for Whitney to really kind of step into that role of thinking, okay, what do we need to do to make sure that we keep this train moving? And at this point, it's to still have that open communication with Monica in some sort of way. Same goes for, I think Meredith probably would. And I also think Angie will. Angie's just so thirsty that she'll pretty much do anything to make sure she stays on the show. Not that I want her to leave anyway. I feel like she has kind of earned her, a spot still for next season. Even though if I don't really like her that much, I can admit that she did kind of step it up and try to step into being a housewife.
She's working hard at this reunion.
Yeah, she is. I'm not mad at it either. That's the time to really perform. So I'm not mad at that.
Tez, you and I started recapping Salt Lake City way back, episode 1, season 1. So we got to see the relationship of Whitney and her dad's little pussycat wig. So what are your thoughts on her talking about how she ain't talked to that lady in a couple of years?
What I gathered from this was that I feel like there's a part of Whitney that is not aligned with the group. I really think that her and Monica have a lot in common. And I think this is not the first. I mean, I think last week is when she mentioned about, how when Monica was talking about sleeping with her brother-in-law, whatever, and the whole she spoke about that too. So it's another instance where Whitney is showing that we might be a little closer than we think. I mean, in this case, who does Whitney just really have as like a true friend? I mean, I'm just saying. So I don't know. I do think there's a part of her that's like, maybe we'll keep her around. Because I mean, obviously we know that Lisa, Heather, and Angie are aligned on feeling like that should not be part of the group. They hate her, but Whitney still speaks kind of like as if she's trying to defend her and see her side of things. So I'm curious to see how it goes when she, explains her whole involvement with Chad Button Tease. With Reality Tease next week to see how he reacts to
that. Chad, do you have anything that you want to add?
So first, I was left out of the when you said you and Tez reviewed from the first season, because I was on here the first season, season 1.
Not the first episode. I said episode 1, season 1.
But anyway, we'll move past that. We'll move past that. But anyway, to go back to that point, the point I was making, Whitney also, as annoying as she is, and annoying as we know she can be, she has shown many instances where she has, her real life. And I feel like in many moments, Whitney is a real person. So when it came to her defending Monica, I looked at it as more so of her being able to, like Cortez said, relate to her story and relate to the things that she had going on. So I thought that it was a genuine moment, and I thought that it was good that she actually spoke up, and said, tried to deflect the situation. And Whitney, like Meredith and, like Mary, is like, let's keep the ball going. It's not that I think that they're realizing that Whitney in that moment is realizing that this is really not as deep as y'all are making it out to be. And I also think that Whitney has done her research on everything, because if you notice the dynamics, she's not nearly as upset about the situation as the other girls are. So I'm like, maybe Whitney knows, this is a moment where Whitney's like, okay, y'all are really doing the most, and I'm not even going to add on to it, because we've called her out in Bermuda. what more do y'all want from the situation now? Like, it's not
Yeah.
much more that we can get from this. So I'm hoping that Whitney is not being a little girl and being a grown woman and moving on from it.
Yeah, for sure.
We can hope. We can dream. She's let us down before. Shantae, do you have anything before we switch gears?
Yes, I also think that Whitney saw that Monica was having her back with the whole rumor situation about Angie's husband as well from part one. So I think Whitney sees that Monica is able, to be a potential ally, and she's proved it already at the reunion. So I do think that there's something there in terms of maybe a budding friendship or budding alliance between Whitney and Monica. So,
I think it may be more of an alliance than a friendship, but okay. So then, if you guys have been following the show at all, you know, like mid-season, like right around the Easter episode, there was talk about Monica falling down Angie's stairs, and it never got aired. And everyone was like, you know what happened? So talks about the infamous falling down the stairs. They actually show the unaired footage, and unfortunately, the cameraman only caught the aftermath. But we heard Monica as she walks around the corner, ooh, 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 like in a couple of stairs. And when the camera cuts back to her, she's just literally like sitting there, and she God God bless her. It happens to the best of us. So then, I mean, they get in a fight about it, you know, of course, Angie. And one of the things, to Antonio's point, that I will give Angie is she is not letting up on Monica, because her and Monica have gotten into it probably more than anybody over the season on Twitter, Monica, Lisa, and Angie. So Angie keeps calling her saying, like, you threatened to sue me, you're this, you're that. Monica says, like, no, I didn't threaten to sue you. I was bruised. There were pictures showing Monica's entire leg is black and blue. She said afterwards she went to urgent care. She had to get her head scanned because she hit her head. She says, I told my mom to find her own way home. Production apparently called an Uber for the mom, and the mom said she wasn't getting in that piece of shit because it was a Subaru. Like, there's so much going on with this story. And Angie keeps asserting that, no, you threatened to sue, you threatened to sue. And Monica was like, well, no, technically I said I could sue, and then reveals that she had a conversation with Big Meredith. And Meredith, attorney at law, said, well, if you want her house, you could take her house. And Meredith stands 10 toes down and was like, if you want her house, you could take her house. And Meredith stands 10 toes in it. She was like, well, absolutely. She fell in your house. Like, if she wanted to sue you, she could sue you. And in me, I'm like, well, that's why we have homeowners insurance and renters insurance, because if I get her on your property, somebody's going to pay me. But Angie and Monica are still fighting about it. Monica's like, I have never sued anybody. I don't have any lawsuits. And Angie's like, there are multiple lawsuits out there. You just got to look online. And then Heather is kind of like muttering under her breath, you're suing me. And Monica is like, you know, what's going on? And Angie was like, Heather said you're suing her. And Lisa's like, yeah, you're suing Heather. And Monica says, well, actually, I'm not suing you. I am responding to a lawsuit that you filed against me. I'm countersuing. And Esquire Meredith Marks says, that's absolutely right. It's the respondent, she's countersuing, which is pretty much just like standard protocol if you get served a lawsuit in this. And so Heather says, well, it's collections. And Angie says, you need to pay your bills. And Monica screams back, no. And we move on from the conversation. And I was actually a little disappointed. This is how I know Monica's coming back. Andy loves her. You can tell with the way he's interacting with her. He hasn't really pressed her on a lot of stuff. And if there was ever a conversation for him to press her about, this would have been it. But he was just like, and moving on. So before we go in, Chad, what do you think about Meredith trying to steal Angie's goddamn house, Monica falling down the stairs, and Monica's mom refusing to ride in a Subaru?
Okay, in order.
Believe
in that order. I do believe that Meredith definitely definitely said something along the lines of taking Angie's house. It just sounded like something Meredith would say. And it was hilarious actually, because it's like it's like, you really gonna go after the lady whole house because you failed? Like it was a little extreme, but I could see her amping Monica up to think that she could, possibly take Angie's house. Two, man, what was part two?
Monica falling down the stairs.
The fall.
The fall they should have aired. We'd love to see falls on air. I'm thinking about when Toya fell off that bus coming off of on Married to Medicine that season. When she slipped.
Memory unlocked.
They should have aired it. But I do believe that Monica could have sued Angie, because it's like, if I'm falling in your house, it's a reason why I'm falling. If I was just walking perfectly fine, something is wrong. You need to pressure wash this so I can get going. And the mom and I wanted to ride in a Subaru. I wouldn't want to ride in a Subaru either, so I'm on her side with that.
Ted's.
The Subaru coming made me holler. I don't like Subaru, so I was definitely with her mom. Like,
well, damn, how's Subaru getting it?
That's how I feel about Prius. And if I order Uber and it's a Prius, I am canceled. Okay, and that's
This sounds like an ism.
I'm not gonna lie, that fall, for me, falls are disturbing to me now after my ankle injury. No shade. I was just like, oh, she could have really like broke her ankle. So I didn't really find any. I mean, yes, falls can be funny, but seeing how, because literally like she said, there was no rail. So I don't even know how you would have a staircase like that and not have anything. Like, it was just walls. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like she could have got paid for if that was. Like,
she was in the middle.
There was no, like, she failed. Like, that was like, oh no. But the comment where somebody said that Angie said she threw her shoe at a toddler, it didn't me out because she just threw her shoe off or whatever. It wasn't all that. Angie, I'd rather see Angie argue with Monica than argue with Meredith, because when she was arguing with Meredith, I wasn't enjoying it. But with Monica, she's actually like poking like little digs and funny moments. So I like to see their interaction. Like, they clearly hate each other, and I think if she comes back next season, that's probably going to be something to see.
Yeah,
them too.
Shantae, have you ever fallen in someone's home?
No, but I do think that I do think that Meredith would totally like represent Monica in the case, because Angie was just so freaking annoying. It was giving me when like Phaedra was representing Candy's employee. Remember that? From Atlanta? Like, I could
for that $200 he was owed.
Yeah, that could be a plot line then, because Angie deserved it. Angie was so annoying all season to Meredith, so Meredith had every right to amp up that drama a little bit to get her lick back. But I also think that the fall wouldn't move the plot forward. Like Kenya's fall, for example, when Courtney said it was karma, that they showed it because like it added to the story. But in that episode of the Easter dinner, like all the drama was like with her kicking out her mom. And if they showed the fall, it probably would have looked like instant karma for Monica for being rude to her mom. But I don't think it would have like made the episode better. So I'm not mad at Bravo for not showing it. But I do think that would have been funny if like Meredith really amped Monica to go after Angie.
There was already so much going on at that dinner. Throw a fall and the mom screaming at production, screaming at an Uber. Like, Tonio, you have anything to add?
The bottom rung mama said she wanted a black car. Like,
Uber black.
Uber black. Do not send her no Subaru. Now, Subarus are not the most cute cars, so I get it. But that lady,
they stepping their pussy up though. They look cute. They look cute.
That lady said, "Do not put me in that car." She really wanted an Uber black, and I'm sure they probably wouldn't have more than like $50, $60. They could have got her Uber black, and I'm sure they got it for her because she didn't get no Subaru.
Let's be honest. To where Angie K lives and to where Monica Mama probably lives, it's more than $60.
Oh Lord. Oh
yeah, probably so.
You right though. You right.
Production said that is not on the budget. We do not have that, and we know your daughter ain't got it, so we're keeping it moving. We got a Subaru.
Yeah. I think that Monica not really going after Angie's pockets, to me it showed that she's not as kind of money hungry as they want to portray that she is.
Yeah.
Because I'm of course not a lawyer at all, but I do believe that she could have for sure gotten paid, especially being that there was no railing or anything like that on those stairs, and there were witnesses around. She could have gotten whatever they have for that liability compensation,
Absolutely.
whatever it is. She could have gotten the max. I kind of wish she would have. But
it was the tweet that she said. She was like, "How about I have to go get my head scanned because your house ain't up to code?" I was like, so Andy then is talking because Lisa had so much to say during this fight. He's like, "Okay, Lisa, like, do you were at the Easter dinner. You saw the way that Monica was interacting with her mom. Do you have, anything to add or to defend yourself about saying that nobody wanted to be Monica's mama?" And Lisa says, "Well, Monica was nasty to me all season, so like, no, I still would have said it." And Monica said, they're going back and forth. Monica's like, "I'm responding to energy that was presented to me." This part took me out because Angie stays catching strays. And Lisa turns to Angie, was like, "You're ugly, you're old." Like, she called you ugly, she called you old, she said you were dirty. And then Monica is like, points to Meredith, was like, "You said her face looks like a trampoline," or "You called her a slut from the 90s," or whatever. And I'm like, both of the women are just like, we're not in this. But they're going back and forth. Lisa is saying Monica's the one that was kind of the source of all the contention that started all the drama and all the fighting. Monica is like, "I'm just responding to what you put off from the first time I stepped on the scene," and then randomly starts screaming "Touchette." And I don't know where Touchette came from, and everybody else kind of looks confused, but Andy kind of blows past that.
Was she trying to say touche?
She was trying to say touche, but I don't know where touchette came from. People in the comments, if you know touchette is a word, please enlighten us. Lisa says that Monica is nasty to people. Monica denies it and was like, you've been nasty to Meredith. She keeps bringing up like the meltdown, and rightfully so, because Lisa keeps wanting to brush past that and to ignore the fact that she aired her friend out on live TV. Then Lisa brings up her mama again. It was like, "This is why your mom," what did she say, "talks to a tree," or something like that. Monica, instead of getting baited, like skillfully turns that around on her. Is like, "This is what I'm talking about. This is the energy you present with. Why would you bring up my mother again? You're trying to get a reaction out of me. You're a nasty spirit." And that just kind of sends Lisa like spiraling. She starts screaming. Lisa tries to interject her opinion, and Monica really cuts her off immediately and is just like, "I don't even know what your problem is with me. Like, for real, like, either talk about it or shut up." And Heather's like, "Oh, I'm going to tell you soon," but then like doesn't say anything. So I'm just kind of, Heather's been oddly silent through this whole thing. And I can't tell if she really is like afraid to speak up or if she really doesn't have the ammo she thinks she has. They argue a little bit more about who's nastier. Lisa and Angie say that Monica called John a penis head. But then during Mary F. Kill, she said that she would F him. So this package kind of ends with conversation talking about Monica's many identities online. And the ladies are like, "You use multiple names." And for me, being a Latino, this makes perfect sense. She breaks it down. Fowler is her married name. Darnell is her mother's name, so her maiden name. Delgado is from her dad's side. And Garcia is her mother's actual last name. She explains that growing up, her mother got bullied for having a Spanish last name. There were a lot of like racial slurs thrown at her. So she dropped that identity and just went by Fowler. And I wish that, that was a very interesting topic for me because I've done that as well. We get a flashback of the mom being confused why Monica isn't going by Fowler. And Monica explains that it's just like, Darnell. She's like, "Darnell isn't my last name. That's not even your last name. That's something you cut off." Certain cast members, she said, were making digs that the reason she was using her Spanish last names was so she could appear more Latina just to get on the show. She then intimates that it was Lisa. Lisa starts screaming and says that it was actually Jen Shah who said it. So I'm like, so someone actually did say it. None of y'all are having a problem with this. So we'll end there. Tez, what do you think of Touchette? We have somebody in the comments says Touchette is a reference on her IG. I'm gonna have to go ask Whitney to look it up or something. I don't know what it is. What are your thoughts on this?
This was a lot of like back and forth. I don't have a whole lot of like comments on this whole scene. I do wish that Lisa is annoying me because, and I'm gonna talk about more why in the next segment, because she's just like a lot of this has nothing to do with her, but she's like finding ways to interject to, I guess, be a part of it, and it's annoying me. Like she could actually be okay with coming in every once in a while or when addressed, but she's literally, we already know that her, Angie, and Heather are aligned. And so one thing I hate to see somebody do is try to throw things at someone to let them know, to bring you on their side. I'm sorry, bring you to their side about somebody. And she's constantly doing she's like, remember she said this, remember she said that, like, we get it. You don't like her. It's annoying. Like, I wish she would just shut up, to be honest. Lisa. I really do. I wish she would just be quiet. Just
like Mary said, put a mute. Do you have a mute button?
Like she won't stop, and this is the only thing I got from this scene. She's so annoying.
So, Chad, we'll defer then to you. What about Lisa's performance in this reunion is starting to get you? Because you like Lisa since you wanted to say you were on episode 1, season 1. You've always liked Lisa since episode 1, season 1. So what about like this performance? Or you're just like, yeah, girl, like. Stop.
I feel like Lisa is a big hypocrite. Like she wants to hold everybody else's like head to the fire with everything. And I really don't think that any of us have completely even outside of the lean, I don't think any of us, even the viewers, have completely gotten over the fact that you literally not just said a little, yin yang around the house about your best friend, but you literally aired her out completely in a hot mic moment. Like, I don't think I will ever get over that because it was so much. It was so loaded in one take of a scene. And I'm like, girl, you have so much to say about everything. And like Cortez said, she doesn't stop. She just goes. And it's like, at this point, it feels like Lisa doesn't have a backbone. She says a lot, but she doesn't have a backbone to stand on a lot of the things that she says. And really, she doesn't. I saw somebody in the comments say she doesn't have any emotional intelligence. Everything is just surface. Like with Lisa, she just goes. It's like no thought process behind the things that she's saying or why she's saying it. She just goes, let me attack you because you said this. And it's just, that's it. It's annoying. Like you can't even really put into words why it's so annoying. Is just annoying to watch.
Shantae.
I just feel like Lisa and Monica are like oil and water. They're gonna fight whenever they can, however they can. I think for me, Lisa lost the fight because she referenced Jen Shah. Because I'm like, if y'all are so mad, and granted, Lisa was upset with Monica even before the whole Von Teese thing came up, but now that the Von Teese thing is like really making all y'all be against this girl, why are you still like quoting and leaning on someone who's like 10 times worse? That's like someone who's scammed elderly.
Federal prison.
It's like
prison.
You cannot invoke Jen Shah for me and win an argument, period.
Tonio.
I agree with everything that's been said. I would like to know though, when did Jen say that about Monica? Like, was that prior to Monica ever even getting on the show? Them just talking? Was it? I would like to know when Jen said that and how Lisa knew that she said it. I do think that Monica handled so far this reunion. She did, especially the first part, kind of had a lot coming at her. I will say I feel like she handled it very well, especially when articulating herself as it relates to her mom and then the situation in regards to her name. I think she did a pretty good job of ironing those details out. So, and yeah, Lisa's annoying. Like, you can chill out. Like, you don't got to work so hard. I think Lisa is pretty good with her spot on the show. It's like, you don't have to come in. You don't have to work that hard every single segment, but she is really trying it.
I agree, Antonio. I don't know when Jen Shah said this, but it's interesting that they're going after Monica, who ran like an Instagram account of just like shit talking a reality TV show full of people she didn't really know. They've negated the whole fact that she basically did it so she could take down Jen Shah, who was a verified federal felony scammer. So for her to invoke and say that, oh, it wasn't me who said it, it was Jen Shah. Well, that makes you actually look 10 times worse because you have this lady in front of you who is cosplaying as a Black woman, critiquing an actual woman of colors or another woman of colors identity and how she presents, and you had nothing to say about it. You didn't bring it up until this point. Nobody used that against her. Nobody had concerns. So like, when exactly did this happen? One, it either implies that you were okay with it, or two, you're making this up and you're making Jen the scapegoat. So either way, it ain't the gotcha that you thought it was. It ain't it. So we're running a little long. I'm going to condense some stuff, and I think that I'm just going to pick and choose one or two of you guys for each segment, so that way we stay under an hour. But talk turns again to this mission trip that just will not die. Heather still tries to articulate that she was like, I was just conflicted because I'm anti-Mormon and I didn't want to support it, and I just had so many feelings. And Lisa was like, well, yeah, I didn't want to invite her because she was anti-Mormon and I was being respectful. And like, no new information came out about it. It really isn't interesting at this point. Either way, I don't care about this. Whitney gets in and says, like, can you just say that you like were mad at me because you couldn't understand I was trying to be supportive? And like, it was, Whitney wants an apology. Heather kind of gives a pseudo apology. Lisa is like, yeah, I didn't invite you because we weren't friends, or I knew you were anti-Mormon. And it was just like a weird segment that like, I really feel like Heather was using it as a reason to be mad at Lisa and Whitney, but it was kind of like a non-factor. Like, if she had those feelings, as we discussed in previous episodes, like, cool, you can get your feelings. I don't understand what's going on. Does anybody have anything they want to add to this plot line?
It's crazy.
Great.
Yeah, it's crazy. And good luck to Jack if he ever stopped taking nudes to send to the damn Mormon church.
That was crazy.
Wait, taking what?
Did you say taking the first picture nudes with to send to the Mormon church? That we did to.
Yeah, he sent a topless picture.
He sent
a topless picture of his visa.
Wait, hold on, this the whole segment.
That's what happened. They
Okay.
said that he is actually in California, probably outside my door. I don't know.
Taking nudes.
He didn't go because he sent this picture for the application or whatever, a shirtless picture, and that's why Heather said, "Well, that's why you should have." That's why I tried to get involved, as if like basically he needed the guidance from her, someone that had been through it, the way he would not be so misled to be sending shirtless pictures to this whole thing.
All right. So even with that information, I'm still bored. I don't care about Jack.
Exactly.
God bless that little boy and all his endeavors. You more boring than Candy's daughter. Let's move on. So now we get to the meat of the episode. Now we get to the meat of the episode. Hold on, because Riley could probably beat me up. So I'm going to keep this moving. Yeah. Andy said, okay, cool. We're going to commercial. When we come back, Mary is coming back. And if y'all watch the season, or excuse me, past seasons, you know, I've critiqued Mary on a lot of things, particularly fashion. This is the best that Mary has ever looked. That little bust down, that little velvet dress, like Mary looks good. The face is beat, the hair is on point. We see her backstage with Monica, and Mary is really like Team Monica. She's telling her, like, how have these women been treating you? What's going on? Monica says that it's a bloodbath. Like, none of them are giving her, an opportunity to speak her piece. And Mary is just like, no, you know what? I got your back. That you have a voice. You need to have it, be heard. You need to tell your side of the story. I got you. So I was really proud of Mary there. She comes on. All the ladies are like, Mary. And right off the bat, Angie throws a little shade and was like, it's good to see you at a reunion. And Mary catches it and was like, okay, come on. Like, you're going to keep ribbing me about it. But then they kind of get right into it. And Mary explains the whole reason. I mean, we've talked about this. The reason she didn't come to season 2 reunion was strictly because of the things that the other ladies were saying about her. The lies, the outright rumors. And Mary said, I didn't feel comfortable, so I'm not coming to this. Like, I just didn't show up. There was no excuses. There was no anything. She was like, yo, not showing up. Don't know what to tell you guys. So then Andy kind of asks her why or recalls a Watch What Happened Live segment where he asked her why she came back, and Mary had answered, I needed to help you guys out. So all the ladies kind of agree and say, like, yeah, definitely there was some comedic relief. And Angie says, like, yeah, she's funny. She's definitely the comedic relief. And Mary, like, gets right on and was like, it's your first season. I don't know why you're even talking. Why are you answering? And Angie looks a little gagged, and all of the ladies are like, yo, she's kind of defending you, Mary. And Mary just kind of giggles and is like, oh, my bad. But then we kind of get into the meat of it where everybody is just like, you know, you say these horrible things, you talk about me. Andy asked, you know, you do say these things about the women. Is there anybody on the cast that you actually do like? And she names Angie. Surprisingly, she just dragged her. But she said Angie can take her bluntness and her meanness. She says she likes Monica because she's pretty and she's friends with Meredith.
She loves Meredith.
She loves Meredith. The rest of the ladies can choke. And Heather looks like she's about to cry. She looks like she's about to cry. And Mary is like, look, we were good until I heard what you were talking about my tacky house. You visited my home. You said it looked nice. And then you were in your confessional wearing it out. So the ladies kind of argue. And I mean, we've said this on the channel before. Mary just says whatever comes to her mind. She drags the lady. She says some mean stuff. There are some things that she says when people try to respond. She doesn't necessarily, she's not necessarily the most receptive to. So Andy kind of brings that up, and Mary says, well, if the ladies wanted to respond to me, they're more than welcome to. Lisa says, we can't. You end the conversation. Andy kind of ends this little segment by saying, you know, you did call Heather inbred. So, like, what do you think is worse, the inbred comment or the house? And Mary's like, my house. Because that means And I was with this train of thought because she was like, you were in my house. You were telling me how much you liked it. And then you were in your confessional saying all of these bad things about it. And Heather's like, no, I just thought it was a particular taste to you. And it was interesting. And Mary's like, I'm not seeing it for you, Heather. You're fake. So Shantae, whose side are you on in the Mary versus everybody?
Mary. She was standing on business. She said, I said what I said. I'm not taking back nothing. And I really just am a Mary fan, especially when she was against Whitney and exposed the racism in the church, because it's very true what she was saying, but we'll get to that.
Ted, like you've gone back and forth with Mary. So what are your thoughts to say? I know you were excited to see Mary back.
Actually, I've never gone back before with Mary. I've always loved Mary. You're incorrect.
Oh my God, everybody trying to revise history on this channel.
But,
today.
you know, there was once upon a time that Jamie did like somebody. We're not going to say.
Oh my.
Exactly. Speaking of history, anyway, I'm not going to lie. Mary.
Oh no.
I really enjoy Mary. Like I've always liked her, but she really gave it to me this reunion. Like, yes, she's a bit of delusional in some sense, especially because even when Andy was telling her, like, you know, you do say some, you know, yes, it's to their face and it's real, but it's a little harsh. I was with him on that, like, okay, like I do, because some people can say the same about me, you know. So there's a part of me that has to retract and be like, everyone can't be or take the whole blunt side of things, right? But she wasn't getting it. She didn't really get it. Still stood in it, but what I did, like when she talked about Heather, yes, again, you were in my house, you do all these things. So yes, my house is worse. I don't know. I love Mary. I thought she really came and like gave what needed to give while still being true to herself. Like she was still the same quirky Mary that told that lady her auntie smelled like hospital. And I just felt like this is the Mary. Like although I would love to have her as a housewife, I don't think she wants that, and I'm okay with her being a friend. But in this moment, like she still gave me as if she was a housewife, even though we only saw her for like 6 episodes, you know? So I love it.
Exactly. Chad, Antonio, I'll get you on this next round. So talk turns to Mary, Mary's son and his marriage. And Mary says she, you know, we see a package of her, like, where's the paperwork? I don't believe you're married. I don't believe you're married. She does say, I thought he was too young. You know, he just turned 21 to be married. Apparently, the girl moved into the house like 3 months before filming started. Mary recounts, or there's unseen footage of her recounting where she was walking through her home and she heard the two of them being intimate. And she tells her makeup girl that, like, she thought to herself, like, oh, girl, don't make him think he's better than what he is.
he thought he was killing that, but he wasn't.
Champagne, please. So Angie, not Champagne. So Angie asked her to expand on that, and she was like, well, she was and screaming and doing all of this. And she was like, girl, it ain't all that. She says, if it was genuinely that, good for you. But if it wasn't, don't make him think that it was. So then she says, like, she for a second thought she was going to open the door to tell the girl to stop faking, but then like said, "Never mind, we're not going to do this." So like in the middle of that, then right after that, talk turns about Andy asked Whitney what she thought about Mary's return because we've seen out of everybody, the two of them had the most contention. Whitney was the one that said she was pornography last season. She had a lot to say about the church. Her and Heather both went to Mary's church to film at the beginning of last season, and that was cut because they wanted to get her in a gotcha. And Mary says, well, Whitney is terrified of me. And Whitney doesn't disagree. She says that she wanted things to heal and repair with her and Mary. She says that she is nervous. And Whitney says, there was stuff that came out in the press about Mary, so I wasn't repeating anything like that wasn't already kind of out there. And Mary says, well, girl, I heard things about you in the press as well that I never repeated. And the only thing that I took away from that is none of this was via reality on Tease. Like, this was in other blogs and other press that had already been causing dissension between these ladies. So then questions are asked about Whitney's predator comment, and Whitney walks it back. Like a politician, it was like I was, kind of projecting. It was from my own kind of childhood and stuff that I was going through, and she kind of apologizes. But then Andy pulls up a tweet of Whitney kind of saying, it's kind of laughable that Mary, is talking about growth. Whitney says that she feels like she put so much work on herself to become the person that she is. She spent thousands of dollars in therapy, and I'm like, well, I hope you got the receipt. But Mary asks her if she feels like tweeting her was part of the growth process. And Whitney says, well, Mary, I never would have said anything if you hadn't tweeted about me first. And Andy is like, well, Mary, you did tweet about Whitney. And Mary stands in business and so it was like, yeah, I tweeted that Whitney was racist. And there's a tweet that Mary just says, Whitney is racist. Like, just flat out.
Just like that.
Whitney is racist. And Mary says, I feel like she is. And so as she's expanding on that, she does say it's because of the religion. Her religion believes that my people are less than. People with my skin tone get into a different heaven. We are their servants in heaven. I can't vibe with that. Like, I'm not down with that. Anybody who believes that has to be racist. Lisa is adamantly like, hey, Mormon, can somebody ask me what I feel about being Mormon? But Heather is like, no, absolutely. The Mormon religion is deeply racist and is deeply founded on racist beliefs. And Lisa's like, it's not. We're not racist. It's not. And she said something about some one person in the church is black or something. I was like, that did not help your case, Whitney. Lisa, my God. But Whitney denies it, but then starts to like walk back, and she was like, well, yes, we are white women of privilege. And Mary is like, good for you, you're saying all the right things right now.
You're preaching
and I'm
today.
Like, you're preaching today. But Mary, what I will like all the other white women who are dealing with this kind of stuff in other franchises should take note when Mary said, this isn't something I can teach you, Whitney, until you are my skin color. This is just something that you're never going to deal with. You're not going to understand it. Whitney didn't argue. She said, you're absolutely right. You're right. Dorit, if you're watching, take a note. And I never thought I would tell anybody to listen to Whitney on anything. So, Chad, we'll start with you.
On?
All of this.
Right.
Season one, episode 1.
No. No, I did like the way that Mary explained herself with the whole racist thing, and I like that Heather and Whitney kind of kind of obliged to what she was saying. You know, it was annoying. Here goes annoying Lisa again. You have to have one to be included. You know, I felt like it was her refusal of wanting to associate the Mormon church with, you know, racism. It was like, girl, you are really a Trump supporter. Like you are, it was ridiculous to even watch her do that. And it really kind of turned me off from her, if I'm being quite honest, because it was like, it was so Dorit coded. It was like, you know, I have a black friend, whatever.
Yes.
But I just got annoyed with her in that moment for that. But as I was watching it, you know, me and they was like, you know, you got to be careful with, you know, calling somebody a racist and all that, which is true. I do believe that you have to be careful because that's a very terrible accusation. But I also like that Whitney was able to ask Mary, have I done anything to you personally that made you feel that way? And Mary was honest. She was like, no, you know, you haven't. And I think that Mary's smart enough to know that she did call her a racist, but she wasn't saying like you are a racist. She was just saying, I think that you know, based off of your religion and everything else, that you're a racist. So she kind of explained it away and got back on the right track, which was good to watch. Because Mary, you know, like Cortez said earlier, she can be a little delusional, but Mary in this reunion, Mary's still her quirky, delusional self, but she's very coherent with everything. Like it's very, you know, it's like I feel like if I feel like Mary may have gotten some, I don't know, I don't want to say coaching, but she's gotten a little used to the reality atmosphere now, so she knows how to approach it and still be herself in the moment. So she handled herself perfectly to me. I didn't think that anything she said or did in this episode was wrong.
I agree. She's not rambly. We know Mary can kind of go off on tangents. Like Mary is succinct. She's specific. She's answering questions. This is what we got going on. Good for her.
Yeah.
Tonio.
I agree with that. I was just thinking, I said, it seemed like she came in with like a clear mind, like I'm going to go into this reunion and I'm really going to be true to myself and be clear with my answers. It seems like she had told herself that prior to going in. I agree. She performed well. Just like, you know, she threw out the term racist at Whitney to the person that commented about it being so inflammatory. I feel like calling someone a predator is just as inflammatory. So just like Whitney can walk back her word of being a predator or calling Mary a predator, Mary can kind of walk back calling Whitney a racist as well. I think in regards to her son and seeing her kind of talk about it, although it was kind of cringy, to me, she kind of gave quintessential Black mom. You know how your moms, they just give it to you straight. They not gonna, they not gonna sugarcoat it. She's like, boy, you ain't putting in all that work in that bedroom. Like, stop. Don't be doing it. Don't be acting like you doing all that.
At 21 years old, you ain't doing nothing.
You ain't doing nothing. That's kind of what I got from that. So it's really good to kind of see Mary, in that light, although she is, into the church, but still being able to kind of show a little glimpse of that part of her life, because previously we had only knew that, she's a pastor and she married her step grandfather or whatever, and that was kind of what where that went. But she's done a great job with speaking her truth and holding them accountable. So I really appreciate Mary in this episode, and she looks rich.
The richest she's ever looked. She looks
the
good.
Lady looked rich, and that she just, it's like she don't have to do a lot, but it's like what she did. To me, it just looks like you got a lot of money, and I love
this look.
She was married Cosby before she came on that show. Like she did all that prior.
Yeah,
she need the show to be who she is. So I love that she let them know that from the jump.
Yes.
Absolutely. She said, I didn't need the show to get my house.
Yes.
That part. I also love that that the women, I mean, even Lisa, I believe, they all had a moment where they were like honest about her contribution to the show and what she contributes. In a sense, I want to say it's still kind of early, but I want to say that her role is kind of like, she'll always have a vital role to the show, even if she's not a main housewife.
Yeah.
But it kind of reminds me of Kim Richards for Beverly Hills. Like, regardless if Kim's on that show or not, her role was so integral to the building of the franchise that regardless, they know that she's a good addition to the show. Because honestly speaking, I don't want to take away from all of them as a cast, but Monica and Mary were the moments of this season. Dating to the beginning to the reunion, it's like it's been Monica and Mary.
Yep.
I agree.
All right, so before we wrap this up, Tez, if you could, let's go ahead and get the link for callers. We've got 96 people that are watching this live right now. Thank you to everybody who is watching. If you haven't already, please make sure you like and subscribe to this. Turn on your notifications. We've got one more episode of this, but baby, we are not done recapping your favorite shows. We've got Beverly Hills, we've got Potomac, we've got Married to Medicine, and Miami. All that are still airing and all that are giving us some great content, except Potomac. So let's go ahead.
Jamie, pause. Jamie, 1 second.
Yes.
One more thing, though. Mary did misspeak a little bit with the Cain comment. It's not the Cain story, actually, with the racism in the Mormon Church in the Bible.
Oh.
It's the curse of Ham. It's Noah's son, Ham. Basically, it's like a doctrine that was used even to justify slavery with non-Mormons. So she was lucid, but she did make a small mistake. It's not Cain. It's the curse of Ham.
You better
Mary
fact check.
Just to put that in there. Yeah.
Mary did not make a mistake, Shantae, but thank you.
She did. Tiny, but she spoke true to power, and it was great.
Here on The Lean, we're not just giving you opinions, we're giving you facts and history. So we wrap this up. Andy asks, finally, she teases the Reality Von Tease account, which we get. It's going to be the finale next week. He talks about how the women reacted on the island in Bermuda. Lisa asked Mary, because Mary said, well, I feel like they all kind of overreacted. I feel like they need to, kind of piled on her. They all ganged up on her. And so Lisa asked how Mary would feel if somebody called her a dumb bee. And Mary was like, I wouldn't care. I've been called worse. I've been called a predator on this show. And I'm still here with this girl. And then Monica brings up, again, Lisa calling Meredith a slut who slept with half in New York. And Lisa, again, is like, you wouldn't know what I said. And I was like, well, actually, a million people know what you said because it was on a TV show that is in like perpetuity being replayed. So then randomly they start playing the audio of a call that was released by Tanisha, one of Heather's employees, who was Reality Von Tease as well. And it's an audio that may or may not be calling Mary a bee. I listened to it and thought that they were talking to somebody else and then said that they were going to DM Mary about the lady. And that she said, I'll do it for Reality Von Tease. And we know she watches us, so she's going to answer the DMs. Mary is just kind of like, okay, like, I don't know what this is going on. It's not the gotcha. Like, this whole 2 episodes have been like filled with not gotchas because nobody cares about this. Even Andy is like, what am I listening to? Monica's like, I wasn't talking about Mary. Why don't you play the other side of that call? What my friend was saying it. You're playing a very specific point of the call. You're not playing the entire thing. This is another big L for Lisa and Heather because it doesn't prove anything. They're arguing about the page. Monica says that it was 6 people, not 1. None of the ladies believe it was more than just her, which is very odd to me. I don't like, it's already been proven that Tanisha, Heather is surprisingly silent that her employee was a person that was involved in this. She hasn't said anything. She has all this smoke for Monica. Meredith slurs, that doesn't matter, it's what a 6. And like Mary once it ends with Mary saying, you need to let her talk. You haven't allowed this girl to speak her piece. You haven't allowed this girl to defend herself. Let her talk. And the episode kind of ends there. So before we bring on our callers, let's go ahead. Tez, I'll start with you. What do you think of this audio? I know that we kind of talked about it in previous episodes about, at the finale, but what do you think about hearing it in the context of the reunion?
I don't think the audio adds anything. I mean, my thing is like when you receipts and things like that at reunions, phone calls, text messages, like it should always leave you gagged. I wasn't gagged. I was just like, first of all, I couldn't hear it. So I was trying to like listen. I mean, they had the words on the screen. I'm trying to keep up with the show and this. I just didn't feel like it really adds anything. Like my whole thing is they're trying to further prove that that Monica is a bad person. And honestly, do they really need any more to feel any different? Like they already feel like she's the scum of, they feel like she's worse than Jen Shah. This all this extra, like, if y'all feel like y'all were so vindicated at the reunion when y'all find out she was a part of this blog, why do you need more proof if she's so bad?
Yes.
Like, you have everything you need. Like, just go to the reunion, say what you got to say, hold it to the fire, and be done with it. But you're doing all this extra. So, like, do you really have the information that you need? Do you really feel like you got what you needed? Finding out she was the reality of Tease. I mean, it's like they're trying to further make us believe she's a horrible, horrible person. And honestly, you can feel how you want to feel. I don't think she's that bad of a person. She ain't gonna be my friend now, but
You said that every episode.
I don't think
you, Antonio,
person. I don't think that. I don't. And you can feel how you want to feel. It's my square. Okay.
Antonio.
I agree with that. I feel like, yeah, okay, she was a part of a troll page or whatever. To me, it's still no worse than Lisa getting caught red-handed saying what she said about Meredith, because we weren't supposed to hear that wasn't supposed to get out. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like they all say things about each other, and that's why even with going back to where Andy was telling Mary that she kind of says stuff, you know, that's so bad to people's face, and I'm like, okay, so Monica didn't say it to the people's face. She was kind of saying it from a troll account. So you think that's bad too? You have to pick which one you want these people to be. You either want them to be upfront and say it to the face, and that's going to be bad, or you want them to say it behind the other's back, and that's going to be bad. In regards to the Heather, that whole audio, well, I'm sorry, audio, as Nene would say,
The audio.
that audio, it didn't, because to me, I didn't feel like they were talking about Mary. And I mean, I think they were talking about Mary as far as DMing her, but I don't think that things were said were directed at Mary. That's kind of what I got from it. But again, as you say, Jamie, it just wasn't the gotcha that they thought. And they really had set up, I guess, Lisa and Heather are besties now, and they are, you know, kind of, you know, growing because of this situation with Reality Von Tease. So they, you know, I guess Lisa knew, because Lisa was like, yeah, hit it, Heather, you know, play the audio, play the audio.
Not hit it, hit it.
It was like womp, womp, womp. And I like that every chance Monica gets when Lisa says, oh, can that person, you know, you okay with that person calling you a dumb bee? And I like that Monica brings up what she did to Meredith every single time, because Lisa has really nowhere to go other than, oh, you weren't there. It doesn't matter. We were all there. We all saw it. So that's it.
I love, like, through the whole thing, Angie kept looking over to Mary and was like, she called you a dumb bee. Did you hear that? She called you, and Mary is like,
but here's the thing,
girl,
I'll say
shut
this.
up.
Mary already told Lisa, we're done. So Lisa could tell Mary that she called her everything in the book, and Mary will be like, I hate you so much, Lisa. I don't care.
Exactly.
I really wish Lisa would just rip. She doesn't, obviously, even though she said we're good.
She's not smart.
Clearly, she doesn't get that this lady does not like her. And I think Mary hates Lisa the most of anybody else.
Hates her.
Like,
cannot stand that girl. Chad.
I agree. It was cringe to me watching, because it felt like it was so rehearsed. It felt like they all got together before the reunion and said, all right, we're going to play this, we're going to do this, we're going to say this. And especially, like you just pointed out, Jamie, when Angie kept turning to Mary saying, did you hear that? She called you this. It was like, girl, y'all, this is elementary. Like, y'all are acting like little elementary school girls trying to get somebody to hate somebody else. And clearly, Mary does not dislike Monica. So y'all are wasting y'all time. And like Cortez said, y'all already feel the way y'all feel. So what more do you want to get from the situation? And then last thing I want to say, I think that production needs to do better with the whole audio recordings and props and stuff beforehand. They need to come up with a way to say, hey, you have receipts and stuff, y'all need to submit it before the reunion, and we'll decide if it needs to be played or not. Because you could tell that it was just a snippet of an entire conversation. Yeah. So it's like y'all are embarrassing yourselves, and then two, it doesn't make it a good watch for us as viewers, because we only are hearing one side to the story. And it's just like, if production probably, would do a better job at saying, submit this stuff to us, and then we'll air it, we'll air it some way with captions, then it might make it a whole lot better, more juicier. But that's just how I felt about it.
Unless production is on Monica's side and they're like, yes, girl, submit this. We will play this as is because we know it's not doing anything. Shantae, we're going to take you, and then we have a caller in the queue, and we'll grab onto there. Shantae?
Yeah, at this point, I feel like Heather needs to change her name to Heather Von Tease because she got more recordings and more text messages than the IG page probably. And it actually came out that Heather was doing Von Tease things. Like apparently she had also procured some kind of Jen Shaw recording years before. I was telling people to keep it quiet, how she's going to use it at a later date. So they really can't be mad at Monica. They're doing the same things that she did. And Heather especially is seeming a little whack with playing all these things at the reunion to me.
Heather, she had that she ate that one little thing on the finale, and then she's been wah, 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 on the reunion. All right, so Ted, let's go ahead and bring on our caller. Who do we've got? I can't see on there.
It's a caller. And caller, when you get on here, don't be doing all that.
Oh
cussing.
God. Oh God, is it Sammy?
That cussing will get you taken off.
Oh God, is it Sammy?
Hey, Lisa.
Oh, okay. Lisa, watch your mouth, Lisa.
Lisa.
Let's get started. Okay. I'm gonna tell you something. I don't believe nothing about Monica and her mom, okay? Monica and her mama is about the same, okay? I don't care what nobody, she's a scammer. You got 3 different names, girl. Come on now, we ain't playing that. We ain't playing that. No. We're not playing none of that. I don't believe nothing about Monica. You scam your way into this program. You scam. I can't call no names from me. I don't know because Cortez always told me don't cuss.
Lisa, if you can hear me for 1 second, Lisa, you're not listening. Back up from the camera a little bit because it's muffling a little bit. Just back up, okay? Just a little bit.
This is how Monica got 3 names.
Okay, go ahead. We want to make sure we can hear you, okay? So just bear with me. All right, go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me now?
You sound great.
Yes, perfect.
There you go.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Now Monica is a scammer. She got 3 different names. She's doing 3 different aliases. Ain't nobody got that much time, baby doll. You a fraud somewhere. You got all these damn lawsuits. My fault. I can't forget. I can't cook. Can't cuss. Okay, that's number 1. Okay, number 2. So I ain't got time for Monica and her mom. Okay, I don't believe half the stuff she be saying about her mama. You know what I'm saying? She fell down them steps on purpose. I really do believe that. And Mary, she went to Mary, the lawyer. Mary said, "Yeah, you take her house." If she fell down them steps, not pay for. But you ain't get no money. Production pay for every damn thing. Production pay for the scan for the head and the Uber and all that right there. You and your mom got this plan down pat, girl. I do not believe none of y'all doing up on there, okay? Because y'all scammers, son. That's what y'all is too. We need to find out who all these people damn last names is. Who the real people is. That's what we need to be figuring it out. I do not. It's just like going on and on about some bull. I really didn't care about all this stuff like that. But I did feel sorry for Whitney when she said about her mom and her dad. I really felt good for her. I hope she get in a better place with her dad and her mom at the same time. But then let me tell y'all something. That Mary, baby, why you bring that girl on that thing? See, I'm gonna say something about them. I'm gonna say something about them girls, cause baby, I would bring up everything your family said on you on YouTube, baby. Okay. Now we might disrespect grandmama a little bit, but we ain't putting her in her grave allegedly, okay, and taking her husband. Cause baby, cause that's what the uncle said. That was grandmama brother said on Cheryl World. She said, Uncle, no, grandmama's brother said, on Cheryl said, everything Mary said was a lie. And her mama did too on Up and Adams. So did. I'm telling you, because mama said Robert Jr. did the same thing to her. She ain't turned down, but it turned out to be girl. Mary mama is the same like her. Doing stuff in the church. So I don't know why them women didn't bring none of that up in her face. Time I'm a racist. I do not believe Whitney is a racist. I do not believe that at all. Now I tell people besides when if you go back and you read the beginning of the moment you see how it started, Joseph Smith was not a racist. When he died, a guy named Paul got in his position, took over the church. Now he started separating the races in the church. Go back and go back and Google YouTube. It is on YouTube. Is Google it, and you can find out the real truth behind the Mormon church, how it got started.
But it was
Joseph
racist
Smith was
before?
not. No, it was not. It was not. Joseph Smith was not a racist. He had black people in his congregation. Black people's come. He had black people in his congregation and everything. He had some kind of bishops and stuff in them before he died. But when Joseph Smith died, the dude named Paul, if I'm not too sure, I think the dude name is Paul, if I'm not too sure, had changed everything around. He did. I'm asking everybody. You don't believe me? It's on you. The documentary about Joseph Smith and the Mormon Church is in there. That's how everything changed. Joseph Smith was not a racist when the church got formed.
Okay, Lisa, we
He
got
was
another
not a
call.
racist.
So if you got some
But
final,
hold on. I did want to say one thing to you. Did you get my DM?
Lisa, we got
Did you
one
get
more
my
call.
DM?
Got one more call. Oh, okay. I met
Did you
you
get
by
my DM?
good night, Lisa. Okay. All right. We have one more call and it's gonna be Sir Capricorn. How are you?
What's going on? How y'all doing?
What's going on?
Capricorn.
Oh yeah. It's my birthday, so I'm like,
Happy
Happy
birthday!
birthday.
Oh,
Thank you.
congratulations.
So I didn't get to come up for last week's, but I just want to throw this out there. For me, I think Monica and Angie K are great additions for the season. For me, it's kind of, and y'all may not agree, but for me, they kind of give me Kenya and Portia coming into Atlanta season 5, where they came in and rocked the boat and changed the dynamic of the show.
Okay.
I think that was really important for this show because the show needed a shakeup because last season I didn't make through last season. I like that Mary came back. I do think that Mary is very quirky, and I like what she provides. And again, like everybody says, she is the comedic relief for the show, and that's what we need. We need somebody that's fun and that can make everyone laugh. I think Mary, and I'll even say Monica, even provide that. Like, we need someone, that kind of. It can't be serious all the time, and I feel like that's what was missing last season as well. With Monica, I like Monica, and I think with this whole reality Von Teese thing, I do believe that there were more than just her behind it. And she's also said multiple times, like, I had nothing against any of you. Our whole goal was to get Jen. And I think they're all missing that mark, and that most important part, because they still have that. I still feel like, even though that they threw it out there that she's done bad things to them, they still have that we need to protect Jen mindset still.
Yeah.
Right? Even though Monica,
for sure.
Even though damage is already done, they still want to find a way to protect Jen and get justice for Jen. And their justice for Jen is to try to ice Monica out and not be friends with her because they're still friends with Jen. And that's pretty much all I have.
Well, happy birthday. I completely agree with you. Like, Angie is not my favorite. She's very annoying, but her energy is definitely needed. I 100% agree with you. This show needed a shakeup. We only made it through last season because we started the damn season recapping it and we can't quit it. So we are in complete agreement. So thank you so much for calling in. Happy birthday. We hope that you celebrate amazing. We hope you have a great weekend celebrating. And thank you for watching our show. Hope you join us next week to end this this whole thing, because next week looks juicy. So thank you.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
Have a great night.
Too.
All right, guys. I think that was our last caller. We ran a little long again. Yeah, the comments are popping. We're still holding strong at 86 viewers. So thank all of you guys for popping in tonight. Thank all of you for commenting, for engaging with us. Lovable Lisa. And I'm sorry, what was the name of the last caller?
Sir Capricorn.
Sir Capricorn. Thank you guys so much. And of course, to all our regulars who are in here, we got Sammy, we got Chase, Art World, Football Cat, Cody, Lexi. Lexi has had a lot of controversial opinions. A lot of girls would be mad. She is very anti-Monica, but we love this. Here at the Lean, we love everybody who comes in.
Might be our house.
Lisa?
Huh?
Not as our house on the same computer.
It might be our house's burner account. I don't know because they have a similar tune.
But we love that. We thank you guys because you make engaging with you guys fun. So before we lean out, tomorrow night we are live with the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Thursday night we are live with the Housewives of Miami. Next Monday we are Real Housewives of Potomac. And next Tuesday, we resume the live review of, I was about to say Real Housewives of Married to Medicine, of those girls without Quad. And then, of course, the finale of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Bell Collective does drop a new episode. It's not live, but it's still very entertaining on Monday. So you guys subscribe to this video, share this with somebody who likes to talk mess online, wants to start their own Reality Von Tease account. And be sure to turn on those notifications. We will see you guys tomorrow. And Shantae, Chad, Tonio, and Tez, thank you guys so much for leaning in with us. It was chaos, but we had a great time. Thank you guys so much. Y'all have a beautiful night, and we will see y'all tomorrow.
And if you want to know if I got that DM me.
Oh, God.
Find out if I got that DM. Okay? Y'all have a good night.
Did you get the DM about the mafia, the Greek mafia? She's a part of the Greek mafia.
Find out. I don't check.
Bye.
Bye.